thousands of meters below the surface of the ocean, where sunlight disappears forever, something moves through the darkness. Not quickly, not loudly, just slowly enough to almost vanish into the black water around it. At first, scientists watching the deep-sea camera feed thought the image was corrupted. The shape on the screen looked impossible. Its body was thin and pale, its mouth too large, its eyes too empty, and the way it drifted through the water felt unnatural, almost alien. But the camera was functioning perfectly. The creature was real, alive, moving through one of the harshest environments on Earth, a place where pressure becomes strong enough to crush submarines, a place so cold and dark that humans once believed nothing complex could survive there. Yet the deeper scientists explored the ocean. The stranger life became fish with transparent heads, creatures glowing in darkness, predators with teeth too large for their own mouths, animals surviving near volcanic vents hot enough to melt metal. The deep sea stopped feeling like part of Earth. It became something else, a hidden world beneath the surface. And perhaps the most unsettling part is this: humans have explored only a tiny fraction of it. Most of the deep ocean remains completely unknown, unmapped, unseen, which means somewhere below the last reach of sunlight, there are still creatures no human being has ever discovered. The ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface, but compared to land, the deep sea remains almost untouched. Cities can be photographed from space, mountains scanned by satellites, forests mapped by drones. Yet thousands of meters below the waves, darkness still hides entire ecosystems from human observation. Because once sunlight disappears, exploration becomes incredibly difficult. Pressure rises rapidly. Visibility vanishes. Communication weakens. And survival itself becomes complicated. At extreme depths, the pressure becomes almost impossible to imagine. More than 1,000 times stronger than what humans experience at sea level. Enough to crush steel. Enough to collapse submarines. Enough to destroy almost anything not specifically engineered for survival there. And yet, life thrives. Not simple life. Complex predators. Ancient species. Entire ecosystems operating in complete darkness. For centuries, scientists believed the deep ocean would contain only primitive organisms. They were wrong. The deep sea contains some of the strangest creatures ever discovered. And many of them appear impossible. One of the first creatures to truly shock researchers was the anglerfish. Its appearance looks unfinished. Large mouth, thin, fragile body, rows of sharp teeth, and extending from its skull, a glowing lure. Bioluminescence, the ability to produce light inside its own body. In the deep ocean, light means survival. Below 1,000 meters, sunlight disappears completely. So evolution created another solution. Animals learned to glow. Some use light for camouflage. Others use it for communication. Some flash suddenly to confuse predators. And some use it to hunt. The anglerfish drifts silently through darkness with almost no movement, conserving energy. Waiting. Its glowing lure sways gently in front of its mouth. Small fish approach out of curiosity. Then suddenly, they disappear. The attack happens almost invisibly. No warning. No chase. No wasted movement. Because in the deep sea, energy is too valuable to waste. Everything survives through efficiency. And some deep-sea predators evolved in ways that feel almost unreal. The gulper eel appears thin and fragile at first glance. Its body seems too delicate for survival. But its mouth opens enormously, far wider than expected. Its jaw stretches outward like a net. Because in deep water, opportunities for food are rare. A predator cannot afford to miss. The same principle appears across many deep-sea creatures. Expandable stomachs, flexible skeletons, oversized mouths, everything designed around surviving long periods without food. One of the most unsettling examples is the black swallower fish, a predator capable of consuming prey several times larger than itself. Its stomach stretches dramatically after feeding, sometimes so large that the swallowed animal remains visible through the fish's body. The creature survives because food in the deep ocean is unpredictable. Meals may not come for days or weeks, so when an opportunity appears, the animal must take it, no matter how large the prey may be. And these creatures are only the beginning, because every deep-sea expedition seems to reveal something stranger. The barrel-eye fish became one of the most shocking discoveries ever filmed underwater. For decades, scientists only knew the species from damaged specimens collected in fishing nets. The fish were fragile. Pressure changes distorted their bodies during ascent. No one understood what the creature actually looked like alive. Then deep-sea cameras finally captured one in its natural environment. And researchers were stunned. The top of its head was transparent, completely transparent. Inside the clear dome were two bright green eyes capable of rotating upward through the skull itself. The fish could literally look through its own head. Scientists believe this adaptation helps detect faint silhouettes moving above in darkness. An extraordinary evolutionary solution created entirely by life in the deep ocean. A fish with a transparent skull existed beneath Earth's oceans for millions of years, and humans only recently discovered it. That realization changes how people think about the deep sea. Because if something that strange remained hidden for so long, what else is still waiting below? The deeper scientists explored the ocean, the more they realized something disturbing. Many deep-sea creatures do not simply look strange. They behave in ways that seem impossible. Because the deep ocean follows different rules from the surface world. Down there, survival is not about speed. It is not about strength. It is about adaptation. And evolution in total darkness creates life forms unlike anything humans experience above the waves. One of the strangest examples is the stoplight lucijaw. At first glance, it appears thin and fragile. Its body almost skeletal. Its jaw unnaturally large. But what makes the creature extraordinary is something hidden inside its head. The ability to produce red bioluminescent light. Most deep-sea animals cannot see red wavelengths, which means the lucijaw can illuminate prey without revealing itself. It hunts with invisible light, a flashlight only it can see. Think about how strange that is. An animal evolved a secret form of vision inside total darkness. An evolutionary trick hidden beneath the ocean for millions of years before humans even discovered it existed. And the deeper researchers descend, the more examples they find. Some deep-sea creatures evolved bodies so dark they absorb nearly all incoming light. Scientists discovered species capable of reflecting less than 1% of light hitting their skin. Even when illuminated directly by submersible lights, they remain difficult to see. Evolution turned them into living shadows. In the deep ocean, visibility can mean death. so survival often depends on becoming invisible. Other creatures evolved transparency instead. Their bodies almost completely clear. Light passes through them instead of reflecting back. A nearly perfect camouflage in darkness. One transparent predator drifting through black water may remain invisible until the moment it attacks. And because humans rarely observe these creatures in their natural environments, many discoveries happen accidentally. Fishing nets bring damaged specimens to the surface. Deep-sea trawlers pull strange animals from darkness. Submersibles capture brief moments on camera before creatures disappear again into black water. For many species, scientists still know almost nothing. Some were seen only once, others only from fragments. The ocean continues hiding far more than it reveals. And perhaps no environment hides creatures more effectively than the midnight zone. A region of ocean beginning around 1,000 meters below the surface. No sunlight exists there at all. None. The darkness becomes permanent. Temperatures drop close to freezing. Pressure rises enormously. And food becomes incredibly scarce. Yet despite these conditions, the midnight zone contains life everywhere. Tiny glowing organisms drift through the water like stars. Predators wait silently for movement. Massive creatures rise slowly from deeper regions during nighttime migrations. Every evening, billions of animals travel upward toward the surface to feed, then descend again before sunrise. It is the largest daily migration on Earth, and most humans never notice it happening. Entire ecosystems moving vertically through darkness every single night beneath the ocean surface. The deeper humans explore these migrations, the stranger the creatures become. The dragonfish appears almost supernatural. Long black body, oversized teeth, bioluminescent organs scattered along its skin. And some species possess transparent teeth. Completely transparent. Scientists believe this adaptation prevents reflected light from revealing the predator's position. Even its teeth evolved for invisibility. The ocean constantly pushes evolution toward impossible solutions. The viperfish evolved another terrifying strategy. Its teeth are so large they cannot fit inside its mouth properly. Instead, they curve upward near its eyes when the mouth closes. Its body appears thin and weak. But the jaws strike rapidly, like a trap snapping shut in darkness. Everything about the viperfish exists for one purpose, never wasting an opportunity to feed. Because deep-sea life depends on efficiency, the ocean below sunlight does not forgive wastefulness. Many animals survive on almost nothing. Fragments drifting downward from the surface. Dead organisms. Waste material. Tiny particles called marine snow. The phrase sounds peaceful, but marine snow represents survival itself in the deep ocean. A constant slow rain of organic debris falling from above. For some deep-sea creatures, that drifting material is the primary food source. Without it, entire ecosystems would collapse. The vampire squid survives largely on marine snow. Despite its frightening appearance, it behaves less like a predator and more like a patient scavenger. It drifts slowly through low oxygen zones where few animals can survive. Its dark webbed arms create the appearance of a cloak when threatened. Bioluminescent lights flash along its body. And unlike many active hunters, it survives mainly by collecting drifting organic debris from the water. An entire species adapted not to chase prey, but to survive on what falls from the world above. That pattern appears repeatedly in the deep ocean. Patience becomes more important than aggression. Conservation becomes more important than speed, and creatures evolve accordingly. Some deep-sea sharks move so slowly scientists originally believed the footage had been slowed down artificially. The Greenland shark became one of the most mysterious examples. A predator living in freezing Arctic waters, growing incredibly slowly. Scientists estimate some Greenland sharks may live for more than 400 years. Think about that. A shark alive before the United States existed, still swimming through cold darkness today. Its body moves slowly. Its metabolism adapted for extreme cold and low-energy environments. Even its aging process seems disconnected from normal biological expectations. The deep ocean does not just create strange appearances. It changes the rules of life itself. And then there are the hydrothermal vents, one of the greatest discoveries in modern marine science. Deep cracks in the ocean floor releasing superheated mineral-rich water from inside the Earth. At first, scientists believed these environments could not support life. No sunlight existed there. Temperatures near the vents reached extremes. Pressure remained enormous. Yet when researchers first observed hydrothermal vents directly, they discovered something astonishing. Entire ecosystems thriving around them. Giant tube worms taller than humans. Blind shrimp clustering near superheated water. Crabs and fish moving through toxic mineral clouds. Everything surviving without sunlight. The discovery transformed science completely. Because life there operated on a totally different foundation. Instead of photosynthesis, bacteria used chemicals from the Earth itself to create energy. Chemosynthesis, an entirely different biological system supporting complex ecosystems in darkness. That realization changed how scientists think about life everywhere. Because if organisms can survive in deep ocean darkness beside volcanic vents, perhaps life could survive in other extreme environments too. Underground oceans beneath icy moons. Subsurface oceans on distant planets. The deep sea suddenly became a model for alien biology. And still, humans have explored only a fraction of it. That is what makes the ocean so unsettling. Every expedition reveals things scientists never predicted. Fish with transparent skulls. Creatures using invisible light. Animals surviving under crushing pressure. Organisms feeding entirely on chemicals rather than sunlight. The ocean keeps producing forms of life stranger than fiction. And many researchers believe we have barely begun discovering what exists below. Because most deep-sea regions remain unexplored. Large sections of ocean floor have never been observed directly. Entire trenches remain poorly mapped. And some depths remain extremely difficult to access even with advanced robotics. Which means countless species may still exist completely hidden from science. Right now, at this moment, something could be moving through darkness no human camera has ever captured. A predator evolved in isolation. A creature adapted to pressures humans can barely survive. An organism unlike anything currently known. The deep ocean continues hiding possibilities beyond imagination. And perhaps the strangest part is this. The deeper scientists explore, the less impossible these creatures begin feeling. Because in darkness, evolution follows different rules. And those rules created a world humans are only beginning to understand. As scientists pushed deeper into the ocean, they began discovering something even more disturbing. Some deep-sea creatures do not just survive in darkness. They depend on it completely. Sunlight would actually harm them. Their bodies evolved so specifically for deep water conditions that bringing them toward the surface can destroy them within minutes. Pressure changes rupture organs. Temperature shifts damage tissue. Light itself becomes overwhelming. Many deep-sea animals exist in such specialized environments that humans can barely keep them alive long enough to study them, which means some species remain almost entirely mysterious. The giant siphonophore became one of the strangest discoveries ever filmed in the deep ocean. At first glance, it looks like a single organism, a massive glowing ribbon drifting endlessly through darkness. But it isn't one animal. It is actually a colony. Thousands of tiny organisms connected together, functioning as a single living system. Some parts handle feeding, others reproduction, others movement. An entire organism made from many smaller lives fused together. Some siphonophores grow longer than blue whales. Long transparent chains drifting silently through black water like living alien structures. And most humans have never heard of them, because they exist far below normal exploration depths. That pattern repeats constantly in deep ocean biology. Creatures of enormous scale remain hidden simply because humans rarely reach the environments where they live. The colossal squid became another example, even larger and heavier than the giant squid. Equipped with rotating hooks on its tentacles instead of suction cups. Hooks designed to grip prey in darkness. Very few intact specimens have ever been studied. Most knowledge comes from fragments recovered from inside sperm whale stomachs or accidental fishing encounters. Scientists still do not fully understand how large colossal squids can become, or how they behave in the wild. Think about how strange that is. Enormous predators, larger than cars, may still drift through Earth's oceans, mostly unseen. The ocean keeps secrets on a scale difficult for humans to comprehend. And nowhere is that more obvious than in the Hadal Zone, the deepest region of the ocean, beginning around 6,000 meters below the surface. A place once believed entirely lifeless. Pressure there becomes extreme, more than 1,000 times stronger than atmospheric pressure. The darkness absolute, the cold constant, and yet, life exists even there. Tiny amphipods drift through trench ecosystems. Snailfish adapted for crushing pressure move slowly along the seafloor. Microbial colonies survive in sediment untouched by sunlight for millions of years. Some deep trench organisms produce specialized proteins preventing their cells from collapsing under pressure. Others evolved bodies made mostly of soft, flexible tissue rather than rigid structures. The deeper the ocean becomes, the softer life often becomes. Rigidity fails under pressure. Flexibility survives. That principle transformed deep-sea evolution completely. And perhaps no creature better represents that than the Dumbo octopus. Unlike fast, aggressive, shallow-water octopuses, Dumbo octopuses drift slowly through darkness using ear-like fins extending from their heads. Their movements appear gentle, almost peaceful. They rarely rush, rarely waste energy. Everything about them reflects life in an environment where efficiency matters more than speed. And the deeper researchers descend, the stranger evolution becomes. Some fish lose scales entirely. Others lose eyesight. Some develop hypersensitive organs capable of detecting tiny pressure changes in water. Many species evolved bioluminescence independently from one another, meaning evolution repeatedly arrived at the same solution. Light became essential in darkness, and not just for hunting, communication, defense, camouflage, attraction. Entire ecosystems began speaking through flashes of blue and green light beneath the ocean. The cookie-cutter shark evolved one of the strangest feeding methods in the sea. A small predator using suction-like lips and rotating teeth to carve circular chunks of flesh from much larger animals. Whales, large fish, even submarines sometimes return marked with strange circular scars believed to come from cookie-cutter sharks. Tiny predators leaving wounds on creatures many times their size. The deep ocean constantly destroys assumptions about how life should work. Small animals become terrifying. Soft creatures become efficient killers. Blind organisms navigate perfectly. And fragile-looking species survive conditions that would instantly kill humans. The deeper the ocean becomes, the less familiar biology feels. Researchers exploring deep trenches often describe an unsettling psychological effect. The realization that the ocean below is more alien than outer space. Not metaphorically, literally, because deep-sea ecosystems evolved under conditions humans never naturally experience. Permanent darkness, extreme pressure, near-freezing temperatures, scarce food, isolation across enormous distances. The result is a world operating under completely different evolutionary pressures. And humans are poorly adapted for entering it. Even advanced submersibles struggle. Pressure remains a constant threat. Every window must be engineered carefully. Every seal reinforced. At extreme depths, even tiny structural weaknesses can become catastrophic. Communication delays increase. Movement slows. Visibility disappears beyond submersible lights. Outside the vehicle, the darkness becomes infinite. And somewhere beyond those lights, creatures continue moving unseen. Many researchers describe feeling psychologically overwhelmed during deep-sea missions. Not because of monsters, because of scale. The realization that beneath the ocean surface lies an enormous hidden world humans barely understand. A world continuing independently from civilization above. Ancient ecosystems surviving in silence. Predators hunting in darkness. Creatures glowing invisibly through black water. Life forms existing entirely outside human experience. And despite all modern technology, most of that world remains unexplored. Large sections of the deep ocean floor have never been directly observed. Some trenches remain poorly mapped. Many species remain undocumented. Every expedition reveals organisms scientists never expected. That reality has changed marine biology dramatically. Researchers no longer ask whether strange life exists in the deep sea. They expect it, because every descent seems to reveal another impossible adaptation. Transparent heads, invisible teeth, glowing organs, pressure-resistant chemistry, entire ecosystems powered without sunlight. The deep ocean keeps proving life is more flexible than humans ever imagined. And perhaps the strangest discoveries are still waiting, because some ocean regions remain nearly inaccessible, especially beneath polar ice, under Antarctic shelves, inside deep trenches where robotic exploration becomes difficult. Scientists believe entire ecosystems may still exist completely unknown beneath those regions. Creatures isolated for millions of years. Life forms evolving without contact from the surface world. That possibility fascinates researchers, because the deep ocean is one of the last places on Earth where true biological discovery still happens regularly. Entire new species continue appearing every year, and some of them seem impossible even after being documented. The ocean keeps generating creatures humans would never invent naturally, which raises another unsettling possibility. What if the strangest deep-sea creature has not been discovered yet? What if somewhere beneath the last explored trench, something even more extraordinary already exists? A predator adapted for conditions humans never imagined survivable. An organism unlike anything currently known to science. A species hidden perfectly by darkness and depth. That possibility remains real, because despite everything humans achieved, the deep ocean still belongs mostly to itself, and perhaps it always will. What unsettles scientists most about the deep ocean is not only what has already been found, it is what has not, because every expedition into deep water seems to reveal the same pattern. The farther humans descend, the stranger life becomes. And eventually, researchers started asking an uncomfortable question. If evolution already created creatures this bizarre in the places we have explored, what might exist in the places we still cannot reach? That question becomes more serious when you understand the size of the ocean. The seafloor is not flat. It is not empty. It is filled with mountains, volcanic ridges, cliffs, trenches, canyons, plains, and hidden valleys larger than entire countries. A landscape more alien than most people imagine. And within that landscape, isolated ecosystems developed separately over millions of years. Isolation changes evolution dramatically. Species trapped in specific environments adapt in unusual directions. Cave fish lose eyesight. Deep-sea predators develop bioluminescence. Pressure-resistant organisms evolve flexible bodies and special cellular chemistry. And the deeper the isolation becomes, the stranger life becomes. One creature that shocked scientists was the Yeti crab. It was discovered near hydrothermal vents deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Its claws were covered in strange hair-like filaments. At first, researchers did not fully understand what those hairs were for. Then they discovered something remarkable. The crab was farming bacteria on its own body. The hair-like filaments supported bacterial growth, and the crab harvested those bacteria for food. An animal farming microorganisms on itself in complete darkness near volcanic vents at the bottom of the ocean. Nothing about that sounds normal, and yet it evolved naturally. That realization became increasingly common in deep-sea biology. Scientists stopped asking whether creatures looked strange. They started expecting it, because darkness changes evolution fundamentally. Another example came from deep ocean trenches. The Mariana snailfish, a small pale fish surviving deeper than almost any other vertebrate ever recorded. Scientists once believed fish could not survive beyond certain depths because pressure would destroy cellular function. Then cameras filmed snailfish moving calmly near the bottom of ocean trenches. Their bodies contain chemical compounds that help stabilize proteins under immense pressure. Evolution found another solution humans did not predict. Again, that is what makes the deep ocean so fascinating. Every time science defines a limit, the ocean produces life beyond it. The immortal jellyfish became another strange example of ocean biology. A tiny jellyfish capable of reverting from adulthood back into an earlier life stage under stress, almost like restarting its own life cycle. Scientists are still studying how this process works. Under ideal conditions, the cycle could theoretically repeat. A creature drifting through the ocean with the ability to reset its biological state. It sounds fictional, but it exists. And the more researchers study marine life, the more they find biology behaving in unexpected ways. The fangtooth fish looks like something designed for nightmares. Huge fangs, dark body, small frame. Its teeth are so large they cannot fit normally inside its mouth. Yet despite the terrifying appearance, the fangtooth is not large. It is another reminder that deep-sea creatures often appear more monstrous than they truly are. Because evolution in darkness does not care about beauty. It cares about function. Large teeth, thin skin, transparent flesh, glowing organs, flexible skeletons. The deep sea removes everything unnecessary. Only survival remains. Some creatures evolved bodies almost entirely made of gelatinous tissue. The blobfish became famous for this reason. Photographs taken after bringing it to the surface made it look melted and distorted. But in its natural deep pressure environment, its body makes sense. Its soft tissue is an adaptation. A body built for pressure. The surface world distorts it. That detail matters. Because many deep-sea animals only seem bizarre because humans encounter them outside the environment they were made for. Pressure shapes them. Darkness shapes them. Cold shapes them. Scarcity shapes them. The deep sea itself writes their biology. And that hidden world may contain more life than anyone imagined. Some scientists believe millions of marine species remain undiscovered, especially in deep environments. The ocean is simply too large. Submersibles move slowly. Expeditions cost enormous amounts of money. Large regions remain inaccessible for much of the year. And deep trenches push technology close to its limits. Even advanced robotic systems struggle.